The hunt begins. Admiral Zexkalor stood on the observation deck of the Novanian flagship Eternal Glory, his four eyes fixed on the holographic display of the unassuming solar system before him. Three of his eyes studied the tactical readouts, while the fourth, the hunter's eye, remained fixed on the third planet from the star. "What do the scans show, Science Director?" Zexkalor's voice rumbled through his throat sacs, the tone carrying the aristocratic inflection of a born predator. Science Director Vex Mira manipulated the control panel with her slender, six-fingered hands. "Preliminary data is fascinating, Admiral. The planet is teeming with life, predominantly carbon-based. The dominant species appears to have achieved rudimentary spaceflight and digital communication technology." "Primitive, then," Zexkalor mused, mandibles clicking thoughtfully. "Yes and no," Vex Mira replied. "Their technological development is uneven. They've harnessed nuclear energy, but still burn fossil fuels. They've landed on their moon, but haven't established permanent colonies beyond their atmosphere. Their weapons are crude but remarkably effective at killing their own kind." Zexkalor's hide rippled with interest, the bioluminescent patterns flashing across his scaled skin in what the crew recognized as excitement. The Novanians had conquered 12 systems over the past 2 centuries, not for resources or territory, but for sport. As apex predators evolved from the top hunters of their homeworld, the Novanians valued the challenge of conquest above all else. "They fight among themselves?" he asked. "Constantly," Vex Mira confirmed. "They have no unified government. Their planet is divided into nearly 200 sovereign territories in perpetual competition." The Admiral's mandibles clicked rapidly, the Novanian equivalent of laughter. "Perfect. Species that war with themselves make for the most interesting hunts. They understand combat but lack unity." Zexkalor turned to his hunt master, Krabzor, who stood silently at attention. "Prepare a scout ship. I want first-hand intelligence before we commit the fleet." "As you command, Admiral." Krabzor bowed, the ceremonial scars across his chest gleaming under the bridge lights. "Shall I lead the expedition myself?" "Yes. Take a small team. Observe their military capabilities, test their defenses, but remain undetected. We hunt for sport, not for slaughter. There's no honor in culling prey that cannot fight back." Within hours, a stealth vessel detached from the Eternal Glory, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to all but the most sophisticated detection systems. Krabzor and his team of 5 elite hunters approached Earth with confidence born of a dozen successful conquests. Their target, a remote research station in Antarctica, isolated enough to avoid immediate response from the humans' main military forces. "The structure ahead appears to be minimally defended," reported Tavrel, the team's tactical specialist. "Thermal signatures indicate 26 life forms inside. No heavy weapons detected." Krabzor studied the holographic display. "Perfect for our needs. Disable their communications first, then we'll take 3 specimens for study. Remember, we need to evaluate their combat potential." The Novanian scout ship positioned itself above the research station and deployed a localized EMP burst, knocking out all electronic systems below. As the humans inside scrambled to restore power, the hunting team descended in their atmospheric suits, armed with non-lethal immobilizers and collection equipment. What followed was not at all what they expected. The first human they encountered, a maintenance technician caught in a corridor, didn't cower or flee as expected. Instead, the unarmed human charged directly at Tavrel with a metal tool, swinging with surprising force. It took 2 shots from the immobilizer to subdue him. "Aggressive," Krabzor noted with approval. "But foolish." The team pushed deeper into the facility, encountering increasingly organized resistance. The humans, though lacking advanced weapons, improvised with remarkable speed. They had created barricades, using fire extinguishers as makeshift smoke screens, and fashioned crude weapons from laboratory equipment. They adapt quickly. Mevlana, the team biologist, observed as she examined a homemade flamethrower constructed from cleaning chemicals and a pressurized canister. Most species panic when faced with superior technology. Crabzor felt the first stirrings of true interest. Continue to the central chamber. I want to see how their leaders respond. What they found in the main research lab changed everything. While half the humans were indeed scientists, the others were clearly military personnel. Despite being cut off from outside help, they had organized a defensive perimeter and were systematically dismantling Novanian equipment, taken from the first two hunters who had fallen to their counterattack. Most disturbing of all, they were already attempting to reverse engineer the alien technology. Impossible, whispered Mevlana. They shouldn't be able to understand our devices, let alone repurpose them. A modified immobilizer blast, using the Novanians' own weapon, caught Crabzor's team by surprise. Two more hunters fell, paralyzed by their own technology turned against them. Retreat, Crabzor ordered, genuine alarm coloring his voice. Back to the ship. Now. Only Crabzor and Mevlana made it back to the scout vessel, leaving 3 team members behind. As they broke atmosphere, Earth's primitive satellites suddenly seemed to be tracking them with unexpected precision. They've adapted our frequency signature, Mevlana said in disbelief, studying the sensor readings. They're following us. Impossible, Crabzor snarled. Their technology is centuries behind ours. Yet the evidence was undeniable. Multiple tracking systems had locked onto their ship, and in the distance, primitive but powerful nuclear missiles were being prepared for launch. Return to the fleet, Crabzor commanded. The Admiral must know. These humans are unlike any prey we've encountered before. Aboard the Eternal Glory, Admiral Zexcolor received the scout team's report with growing concern. They adapted our technology within hours, he demanded, his bioluminescence pulsing with agitation, and captured 3 elite hunters. Yes, Admiral, Crabzor confirmed, head bowed in shame. They appeared primitive, but demonstrated remarkable ingenuity and courage. Most concerning is their ability to quickly understand and repurpose our equipment. The Admiral turned to Science Director Vex Mira. Your assessment? Troubling, Admiral. Most species follow predictable technological development paths. These humans advance chaotically, focusing on whatever solves their immediate problems. Their adaptability may be their greatest strength. Zexcolor paced the bridge, considering. Perhaps they are worthy prey after all. Prepare the fleet for a targeted strike. We'll destroy their major military installations, then evaluate their response. If they prove too primitive, we'll withdraw and find more challenging quarry. Admiral. Vex Mira interjected cautiously. I recommend we recover our captured hunters first. The humans may extract valuable intelligence from them. Agreed. Crabzor, you will lead a recovery team. Bring back our hunters, or ensure they cannot be studied further. As preparations for the strike began, none of the Novanians noticed the small Earth satellite that had matched course with their fleet, silently gathering data on everything it observed. On Earth, in a secure underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Colonel Maya Chen stood before a circle of international military leaders, her expression grim but determined. The alien technology recovered from Antarctica confirms our worst fears, she announced. This is not a peaceful contact situation. These beings, the Novanians, according to data we extracted from their equipment, are hunters. They see us as prey. General Williams of the United States Space Force leaned forward. How credible is this intelligence, Colonel? Entirely credible, sir. We've interrogated one of the captured aliens. They're part of an advanced civilization that conquers other species for sport. Earth is just their latest hunting ground. And our defensive capabilities? Asked the Russian representative. Colonel Chen activated a holographic display showing a detailed schematic of Novanian ship technology. Their technological advantage is significant but not insurmountable. What's most important is that they've severely underestimated us. They expect primitive, disorganized resistance. We're going to show them exactly how wrong they are. "What do you propose?" General Williams asked. Chen's eyes gleamed with fierce determination. "We've already reverse-engineered their propulsion system and communication technology. Their ships are faster than anything we have, but now we know how they work. I propose Operation Huntsman, a special forces team using modified Novanian technology to take the fight directly to them." "You want to attack an advanced alien fleet?" The Chinese general sounded incredulous. "No, sir," Chen replied. "I want to hunt them. They came here expecting easy prey. Let's show them humans are apex predators too." Within days, as the Novanian fleet prepared their precision strike, a modified Earth vessel carrying Colonel Chen and her multinational team of 12 elite soldiers silently approached the Eternal Glory, using the aliens' own stealth technology against them. The hunt had begun, but not in the way the Novanians had expected. The tables turned. Admiral Zex Kalor stood rigid with shock as alarms blared across the bridge of the Eternal Glory. "Impossible," he hissed, mandibles clicking rapidly in agitation. "Report. Internal security breach, Admiral." The tactical officer responded, his bioluminescent patterns flashing distress signals. "Intruders on multiple decks. They're using our own access protocols." The humans. Zex Kalor could barely form the words. "Here." Science Director Vexmera's hands flew across the control panels. "Confirmed, Admiral. 13 human life signs detected throughout the ship. They've somehow adapted our personal cloaking technology." Before the Admiral could respond, the ship's main reactor abruptly shut down, emergency lighting casting eerie shadows across the bridge. "They've disabled our power core," Vexmera reported, unable to keep the astonishment from her voice. "The override codes are our own." Admiral Zex Kalor's 4 eyes narrowed with dawning understanding. The captured hunters. They extracted everything. The ship's communication system suddenly activated, broadcasting on all frequencies. A human voice, calm and clear, echoed through the bridge. "This is Colonel Maya Chen of Earth's Special Defense Initiative. Your ship is now under our control. Your weapons systems have been neutralized, and your engines disabled. We have planted fusion charges throughout your vessel. Surrender immediately or be destroyed." For the first time in his distinguished career as a hunter, Admiral Zex Kalor felt something alien to his species' psychology, genuine fear. "Open a channel," he commanded. The view screen activated, revealing a human female in black combat armor, her face showing no emotion that the Novanians could recognize. "You have committed an act of war against Earth," she stated flatly. "We know your intentions. We know about your species' hunting practices." Zex Kalor attempted to regain his composure. "You demonstrate unexpected capabilities, human. Perhaps we misjudged your species' technological advancement." "Yes," Chen replied coldly. "You did. We've studied your technology. Impressive, but predictable. Your civilization specializes in weapons and propulsion, but neglects cybersecurity and adaptable systems architecture." The Admiral's hide rippled with indignation. "What do you want?" "First, the immediate withdrawal of all Novanian forces from our solar system. Second, all data you've collected on Earth. Third, a formal acknowledgement that Earth and all human territories are sovereign and not to be threatened." "And if I refuse?" Colonel Chen's expression didn't change. "Then none of your fleet returns home. We've already transmitted the specifications of your ship's vulnerabilities to Earth. Our defensive systems are being updated as we speak. You would lose this war, Admiral. The only question is how many of your people die before you accept that fact." For several moments, the bridge remained silent except for the pulsing emergency alerts. Zex Kalor's mind raced through scenarios, calculating odds and outcomes with the precision that had made him a legendary hunter. "You could have simply destroyed us," he observed finally. "Why this approach?" "Because unlike you," Chen responded, "we don't hunt for sport. We're giving you a choice." 12 hours later, the Novanian fleet began its retreat from the solar system, their mighty engines pushing them toward the jump point that would take them back to their territory. On the observation deck of the Eternal Glory, Admiral Zex Keller and Science Director Vex Mira watched the blue-green planet shrink in the distance. "The High Command will not be pleased," Vex Mira noted quietly. "No," agreed the Admiral, "but they will be intrigued. The humans aren't just warriors, they're innovators. Within hours they had adapted our technology and turned our own systems against us. What troubles me most," Vex Mira said, "is their unpredictability. They didn't follow any established response pattern. Rather than mobilize their planetary defenses, they sent a small team to infiltrate our command ship. The actions of predators, not prey," Zex Killer mused. "They studied us, identified our vulnerabilities, and struck precisely where we were weakest." "Admiral," a communications officer interrupted, "we're detecting an energy signature following us at the edge of sensor range." The view screen showed a small vessel, unmistakably of human design, but incorporating Novanian propulsion technology. "They're tracking us," Vex Mira realized with alarm. A message came through on all frequencies. "This is Captain Jack Rodriguez of the Earth ship Pathfinder. We'll be escorting you to the edge of our monitoring capacity to ensure compliance with our agreement. Additionally, we're mapping the jump points for future reference." "Future reference," Zex Kalor repeated, mandibles clicking in agitation. "They're planning to follow us home." "Not just follow," Vex Mira said quietly. "They're exploring. While defending themselves from us, they're simultaneously mapping routes for expansion." 3 weeks later, in the Grand Chamber of the Novanian High Command, Admiral Zex Kaler faced the 7 High Hunters who govern the Empire. "You retreated," stated High Hunter Dex Foran, his voice heavy with disapproval. "You, who have conquered 12 systems, fled from primitives." "Not primitives," Zex Kaler corrected firmly. "I underestimated them based on faulty intelligence, and that error nearly cost us the entire 7th Fleet." The holographic display activated, showing the detailed analysis compiled by Science Director Vex Mira. It revealed the extraordinary adaptability of the humans, their capacity to reverse engineer advanced technology, and most disturbing of all, their strategic thinking. "They could have destroyed us," Zex Kalor explained. "Instead, they chose to learn from us, to understand our capabilities and limitations. And now they're following the jump routes back toward Novanian space." High Hunter Kexaloner leaned forward, his hunter's eye fixed on the Admiral. "You admire them." "I respect them," Zex Kalor clarified, "as one respects any dangerous predator. They're unlike any species we've encountered. They don't develop logically, they leap forward in bursts of innovation, driven by necessity and curiosity in equal measure." "What would you have us do, Admiral?" asked High Hunter Jex Pyron. "Prepare for war." "I would have us prepare for contact," Zex Kalor replied. "The humans aren't just defending their territory. They're expanding. Their adaptation of our propulsion technology has given them access to the galactic network. They're already establishing outposts on the jump route." "Invasion," Dex Voran demanded. "Exploration," Vex Mira interjected. "Analysis of their communication patterns suggests they're driven by curiosity as much as security concerns. They want to understand the galaxy, not just conquer it." The chamber fell silent as the High Hunters absorbed this unprecedented situation. For centuries, the Novanians have been the unchallenged hunters of the galactic quadrant, finding, testing, and either conquering or dismissing other species as unworthy prey. "We face a choice," Admiral Zex Kalor continued. "We can prepare for a war that will consume enormous resources with no guaranteed outcome, or we can adapt, establish diplomatic relations, exchange technology, learn from them as they have learned from us. Cooperate with prey." Dex Voran's bioluminescence flashed patterns of outrage. "They are not prey," Zex Kalor stated firmly. "That was my mistake. They are competitors, perhaps even equals." As if to emphasize his point, an urgent communication interrupted the proceedings. A Novanian border outpost had detected multiple vessels of human design approaching through the jump point. Leading them was the ship identified as the Pathfinder, now significantly modified with enhanced Novanian technology. The message they broadcast was simple. This is Captain Rodriguez of the Earth Exploratory Force. We come seeking peaceful contact with the Novanian civilization. We are prepared to establish diplomatic relations or defend ourselves if necessary. The choice is yours. High Hunter Kexlaner's hunter's eye fixed on the image of the human vessels. It seems, Admiral, that your humans are forcing our hand. No, Zexcalor corrected. They're offering us a choice. We can evolve beyond being mere hunters, or we can fade into irrelevance as they master the stars. As the Novanian High Command debated their response, more human ships emerged from the jump point. They weren't the warships the Novanians expected, but research vessels, exploratory craft, and diplomatic shuttles, all protected by formidable escort ships that clearly incorporated enhanced versions of Novanian defensive technology. The humans hadn't come to conquer. They had come to explore, to learn, to understand. But the message was clear in their preparation and capabilities. Cross us again, and there will be nowhere in the galaxy you can hide. The hunt was over. A new era had begun.